Hey ladies and gentlemen, I'm Suleiman Koulibaly and welcome to my channel. This is my player Suevo Love Jr. He is a sequel to my previous character Suevo Love, who was from Kentucky and he played in 2K19. And he actually won a few championships with the New Orleans Pelicans. So as you can see, the first set of the narrative begins to cultivate here in the initial parts of the game. So this is the second episode. So for those of you who don't know, I just chose to basically I had the choice to live and go home to California. And at this part, this is where the game gets interesting in a way, because after you decide to drop out of school and quit the team in the final championship game because the coach decides he's not going to give one of your best friends a scholarship because he tore his ACL and MCL during the championship game, led to an issue with him not being fond of that. So that led to him basically leaving. So as soon as he packed his dorms, he decided he was going to forego his remaining eligibility and pursue an NBA career full time. So he decides to come back home to California. As you can see, he got to meet up with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard comes off as a bit shy. He's not much of a talkative guy. And he's at Martin Luther King High School, where Kawhi Leonard used to play high school basketball in California. So just to catch you guys up on basically what's going on, I was just at a random workout at MLK High School and Kawhi Leonard shows up. During this brief interaction, they play one-on-one basketball. Nothing much really happens. I don't really have control over what I say to Kawhi, but yeah, the two basically just play and they go about their separate ways. And after that, this is his counselor from college, Bay City University, which is not a real college, by the way. It's not a Division I university. It's a created anniversary that is basically a part of this 2K Mycareer story. So throughout a lot of scholarly articles that came with How to Play Video Games by Matthew Thomas Payne, one of the most intriguing articles that popped out to me was it's called Race by Triandria M. Russworm. And throughout, her narrative, she decides to indulge in one of the very first narrative-based story modes in the 2K series, which was NBA 2K 2016, which was created by Spike Lee and directed by Spike Lee, executive produced. It was pretty. It was pretty noticeable, if that's the right word. It was infamous to many, and it was pretty good to others. It was like a split opinion about it, because at this point, it's hard to say. I'm at the midway point, because it's just too many different opinions I have about different aspects of the story. And Triandria Russworm goes into it by saying she basically conveys others' opinions throughout the article, and one of the most eye-popping ones were when a fan complained that my player this year forces you to be a player named Frequency Vibrations from the projects of Brooklyn and have an African-American family with a twin sister, and it's called Living the Dream. Not joking. I'm trying to figure out how to reconcile these things as I hear the story and look at the Spaniard I have created to resemble myself. I can't decide if it's a reverse blind side of my character or just having Rachel Dolezal type delusions. Spike Lee has made my player mode feel like it's choosing to exclude me and make me feel that by participating, I am appropriating a culture that is not mine. That's 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 not a good feeling to have while playing a video game. And here in live time is what we're looking at right here is a meeting that was set up by my counselor, which was very random and without my permission, with a a guy who wants to be my business partner who I don't know, who wants me to invest in his shoe business by being a representable athlete and also the chance to gain stock as well, a percentage in his business. Well, back to what the fan complained about. Honestly speaking, that that was definitely an understandable opinion to have because throughout this whole 2K series at 2016, they really limited what you could do or any say you had. It was like you were watching a movie, but it's a video game and you have no choice over anything. And everything was pretty much forced. The only thing you could really change was how you looked, which is something we were very appreciative at the time. It was the introduction of face scans to the 2K, to the 2K, to the 2K series. And furthermore, so throughout my project, I will be indulging in many series of live streams. These live streams will be based on my review of the NBA 2K Mycareer mode. The Mycareer mode is a detailed narrative tied to every user's player who pursues a playing career in the NBA. Although your success as a player is determined by your own work ethic and skill, there are still limitations tied to the narrative. As you can see, many of my peers in the 2K community have mixed feelings about the constant changes to the career mode, and I am taking the initiative to now analyze both perspectives fairly and in the most unbiased way. So here, I apologize for not having subtitles during this broadcast. 2K didn't allow me, but I didn't want you guys to miss out on the beginning of the story. Here, I basically politely deny the man's offer because I don't necessarily want to get a shoe deal yet while I'm still not basically unworthy, but haven't proved myself to the best of my ability. Because I say this because at the moment, I'm actually not I'm an unheralded draft prospect. I have no guarantees right now. I'm not even guaranteed a first round spot. At first I wasn't even on the draft board, so right now I'm just working my way into things. And I'm already being approached with offers, so that's why my player comes off as, I guess, skeptic about things. He's just very hesitant. Feels like he can make more money later. In contrast to the 2K16 narrative that Spike Lee generated in 4 or 5 years ago, I personally, I enjoy what they offered in this year's My Story because they actually decided to really take the time out to show the business aspect of things this year. You understand more of negotiating and business partners. You run into Maverick Carter, who's LeBron James' business partner. You just make all sorts of connections, and sometimes you make bad connections, sometimes you make suspect connections. It just really depends on who you choose to basically interact with more. Here's when the decision is basically made. So at this point, Flavor Love Jr. is just feeling misguided and reaches out to Kawhi Leonard, who he just met, basically asking if he could get linked up or connected with his agent. Ironically, he doesn't know who was texting him.